Welcome to Module 2 of the Simple Understanding CPIM 9.0 full course. The name of this module is Sales and Operations Planning. Sales and Operations Planning is commonly known as S&OP. S&OP is one of the most important planning processes in an organization because it connects business strategy with operational decisions. A company may have an excellent sales forecast. It may also have efficient factories, skilled employees, reliable suppliers, and available inventory. However, these resources will not produce the best result if every department follows a different plan. Sales may expect strong growth. Operations may plan lower production. Purchasing may reduce material orders. Finance may expect higher profit. Marketing may prepare a major promotion. If these plans are not coordinated, the organization may experience shortages, excess inventory, missed sales, poor customer service, overtime, high costs, and confusion. S&OP creates a structured process for bringing these different plans together. It helps the organization develop one coordinated plan for demand, supply, inventory, capacity, financial performance, and customer service. The purpose is not simply to produce a forecast. The purpose is to make informed decisions about how the organization will balance what customers are expected to need with what the organization can realistically provide. A company must answer several important questions. What do we expect customers to buy? Which products are growing or declining? Are we introducing new products? Do we have enough materials, people, equipment, suppliers, and capacity? What inventory should we build or reduce? What risks could affect the plan? What financial results will the plan produce? And what actions should management approve when demand and supply are not balanced? Module 2 helps us answer these questions. Don't forget, all videos on the Simple Understanding YouTube channel are translated. You can also listen to dubbed audio in your main language. Module 2 consists of 3 sections. Section A, S&OP Purpose and Process. This section explains why organizations use S&OP and where it fits within the planning and control hierarchy. It examines the responsibilities of sales, marketing, operations, finance, supply chain, product management, and senior leadership. We will also examine planning horizons, product families, aggregation, and the main steps of the S&OP cycle and the inputs and outputs produced during the process. Section B, Aggregate Demand and Supply Plans. This section explains how organizations develop and evaluate demand and supply plans at an aggregate level. We will examine product portfolios, new product introductions, product life cycles, demand sources, internal capacity, external suppliers, inventory, resources, production plans, bottlenecks, and strategic buffers. Section C, Reconciling S&OP Plans. This section explains what happens when the demand plan and supply plan do not match. We will examine volume and product mix trade-offs, alternative plans, risks, financial implications, customer service, inventory, backlog, and different methods for balancing demand and supply. Let us begin with Section A. Remember that watching videos is helpful, but passing the CPIM exam requires more than watching. You must study the concepts, revise the terminology, solve calculations, and practice different types of exam questions. To support your preparation, the Simple Understanding channel offers 3 complete CPIM 9.0 study bundles. Bundle 1 is the full learning bundle. It covers all 9 modules and 38 sections. It includes clear explanations, real-world case studies from leading companies, and a comprehensive mathematics section with step-by-step formulas and solved examples. Bundle 2 is the MCQs Practice Bundle. It contains more than 6,200 multiple-choice questions. The questions include conceptual, theoretical, scenario-based, and quantitative. Every question includes a detailed answer explanation, helping you understand why an answer is correct and why the other options are incorrect. Bundle 3 is the flashcards bundle. It contains 1,800 flashcards covering key terms, definitions, formulas, and important CPIM concepts. The flashcards are perfect for daily revision and for strengthening your memory before the exam. The download link for all bundles is available in the video description. These bundles are designed to give you a complete preparation system and help you maximize your chance of passing the CPIM 9.0 exam on your first attempt. Section A. S&OP Purpose and Process. Section A Overview. Sales and operations planning is a cross-functional decision-making process. It connects the strategic business plan with more detailed operational plans. S&OP normally focuses on product families, major resources, aggregate volumes, and medium-term decisions rather than individual customer orders or detailed daily schedules. The process helps management identify future problems early enough to take action. In this section, we will study 5 key topics. Topic 1. The role of S&OP in the planning and control hierarchy. Organizations make plans at different levels. At the highest level, the strategic business plan defines the organization's long-term direction. It may include growth targets, market priorities, investment plans, financial objectives, and competitive strategies. Below the business plan is sales and operations planning. S&OP translates strategic objectives into an aggregate plan for demand, supply, inventory, capacity, financial performance, and customer service decisions. Below S&OP are more detailed planning activities. These may include the master production schedule, material requirements planning, capacity planning, procurement planning, distribution planning, and detailed production schedules. Each level answers different questions. The strategic plan may ask, which markets should we enter? S&OP may ask, how much total production and capacity will be required to support those markets? The master schedule may ask, which finished products should be produced in each period? The detailed schedule may ask, which specific order should run on a machine tomorrow morning? The plans should be connected. A detailed schedule should support the master schedule. The master schedule should support the S&OP plan. The S&OP plan should support the business strategy. If the levels are disconnected, employees may execute detailed activities that do not support the organization's priorities. Therefore, S&OP is an important bridge. It connects long-term strategy with operational reality. It also provides enough time for management to make decisions before a problem becomes urgent. For example, if the organization expects demand to exceed capacity 6 months from now, management may have time to authorize overtime, hire employees, qualify another supplier, subcontract production, build inventory, or adjust demand. If the problem is discovered only a few days before delivery, the available choices will be limited and expensive. Real-world company example, PepsiCo. A PepsiCo supply chain planning role describes responsibility for leading the S&OP process and creating one aligned forecast across functions. The role also includes managing a rolling demand forecast. This illustrates the position of S&OP between business expectations and operational execution. The aligned forecast gives supply chain teams a common demand direction that can be translated into inventory, capacity, production, procurement, and distribution plans. Without this connection, different functions could prepare different assumptions and make conflicting decisions. CPIM Key Takeaway. S&OP connects the strategic business plan with master planning and operational execution. It should focus on decisions that are important enough to require cross-functional and management involvement. Topic 2. Cross-functional roles and responsibilities. S&OP is not owned by one department working alone. It requires participation from several functions, because each function contributes different information and perspectives. Sales provides information about customers, major orders, market opportunities, and commercial risks. Marketing provides information about promotions, pricing, market campaigns, and expected changes in customer behavior. Demand planning develops the statistical forecast and helps combine historical data with commercial knowledge. Product management provides information about new products, product changes, product discontinuations, and life cycle stages. Operations evaluates production capabilities, labor requirements, equipment, maintenance, and internal capacity. Procurement evaluates materials, suppliers, purchase commitments, lead times, risks, and external capacity. Logistics and distribution evaluates storage, transportation, replenishment, and network capabilities. Finance evaluates revenue, costs, margins, working capital, cash, and alignment with the budget. Human resources may provide information about recruitment, skills, training, and labor availability. Senior management resolves major conflicts, approves trade-offs, and confirms the final plan. Each function has an important role. However, participation is not enough. The responsibilities must be clear. For example, sales should not increase the forecast simply because it wants more inventory. Operations should not reduce the supply plan only because it wants easier production targets. Finance should not force a financial target into an operational plan when there is no realistic demand or capacity to support it. The objective is not for one department to win the discussion. The objective is to develop the best total plan for the organization. Cross-functional participation also improves accountability. When functions agree on the assumptions and decisions, it becomes more difficult for one department to blame another when actual results are different from the plan. Real-world company example: Unilever. A Unilever supply chain finance role describes integrated business planning activities that connect factory teams and business unit teams around volume, productivity, and cost assumptions. The role also works with manufacturing, engineering, procurement, logistics, inventory, and finance. This illustrates the cross-functional nature of integrated planning. Production volumes affect factory costs. Inventory affects cash. Procurement decisions affect material availability and purchase costs. Logistics decisions affect service and distribution costs. These areas cannot be planned effectively in isolation. CPIM Key Takeaway: S&OP is a cross-functional business process. Demand, supply, product, and financial decisions should be developed together rather than passed from one department to another without coordination. Topic 3: Planning horizons, time buckets, product families, and aggregation. S&OP is performed at an aggregate level. Aggregation means combining detailed items into larger planning groups. Instead of planning every individual stock keeping unit during the executive S&OP meeting, the organization may plan by product family, business unit, geographic market, or major service category. A product family is a group of products that share important characteristics. They may use similar resources, serve similar markets, follow similar demand patterns, or belong to the same commercial category. Aggregation helps senior managers focus on important decisions without becoming lost in excessive detail. For example, a company may sell hundreds of shampoo sizes, formulas, and package designs. The S&OP process may initially evaluate the total hair care family. More detailed systems can later divide the family plan into individual products. However, aggregation must be selected carefully. If unrelated products are grouped together, serious capacity problems may be hidden. Two products may produce the same revenue but require completely different materials and production resources. The planning horizon should also be long enough to identify important future requirements. The organization may need time to increase capacity, hire and train employees, negotiate supplier agreements, purchase equipment, build inventory, or introduce a new product. The time buckets used in S&OP are normally broader than the time buckets used in detailed scheduling. For example, S&OP may review monthly totals, while the master schedule and detailed schedules use weeks, days, shifts, or hours. The appropriate horizon, time bucket, and aggregation level depend on the organization's products, lead times, market, risks, and decision requirements. Real-world company example, Procter & Gamble. P&G operates through major sector business units and product categories, such as fabric and home care, beauty, healthcare, grooming and baby, feminine and family care. Within these categories, the company manages many brands, product forms, sizes, and individual items. This illustrates why aggregate planning is necessary. Senior management cannot effectively review every individual item during one planning meeting. Product family and category views allow management to understand broad demand, capacity, financial, and portfolio requirements. Detailed planning can then translate the approved aggregate plan into specific products. CPIM Key Takeaway. S&OP should use the level of detail required for management decisions. Too much aggregation can hide problems, while too much detail can prevent leaders from seeing the overall business situation.
Topic 4. The main steps of the S&OP cycle. S&OP is normally conducted as a repeating cycle. Many organizations perform the process monthly, although the exact frequency may differ. The process normally contains several connected activities. The first activity is data gathering and preparation. The organization collects information about actual sales, forecasts, orders, inventory, capacity, suppliers, costs, product changes, and performance. The second activity is product or portfolio review. The organization reviews new products, product changes, product introductions, product discontinuations, and lifecycle issues. The third activity is demand review. Sales, marketing, demand planning, and product management evaluate expected demand. They identify changes, assumptions, opportunities, risks, promotions, and major customer requirements. The fourth activity is supply review. Operations, supply chain, procurement, logistics, and other functions determine whether the demand plan can be supported. They evaluate capacity, materials, suppliers, inventory, labor, equipment, maintenance, transportation, and constraints. The fifth activity is reconciliation or pre-S&OP. Demand, supply, portfolio, and financial plans are compared. Important gaps and alternatives are prepared for senior management. The sixth activity is executive S&OP. Senior leaders review the important issues, evaluate trade-offs, make decisions, and approve the plan. After approval, the plan is communicated and translated into more detailed plans. The cycle then repeats. The next cycle should not begin from zero. It should compare actual performance with the previous plan, update assumptions, and determine what has changed. A disciplined cycle creates organizational learning. It helps management understand which assumptions were correct, which risks occurred, and which actions produced the expected results. Real-world company example, PepsiCo. PepsiCo planning roles refer to preparing supply planning information for recurring S&OP meetings and using standard S&OP templates with capacity and supply information. Other roles describe demand forecasting within the S&OP cycle and continuously improving the process. This reflects the repeated nature of S&OP. Demand information is prepared, supply capabilities are evaluated, the plans are reviewed through structured meetings, actions and decisions are then connected to planning and execution. CPIM Key Takeaway. S&OP is not one annual meeting. It is a disciplined, repeating process that reviews changes, identifies gaps, evaluates alternatives, and produces management decisions. Topic 5. S&OP inputs, outputs, assumptions, and the one number plan. Every stage of the S&OP process requires reliable inputs.
Demand inputs may include forecasts, open customer orders, market intelligence, promotions, new customers, lost customers, economic conditions, competitor actions, and point of sale information. Product inputs may include new product introductions, engineering changes, product transitions, and discontinuation plans. Supply inputs may include capacity, labor, equipment, supplier availability, purchase commitments, inventory, transportation, maintenance, and constraints. Financial inputs may include budgets, revenue expectations, product margins, costs, cash requirements, and investment limits. Risk inputs may include material shortages, supplier instability, regulatory changes, transportation problems, and geopolitical events. These inputs should include assumptions. An assumption explains what the plan expects to happen. For example, a demand plan may assume that a promotion will increase sales by 15%. A supply plan may assume that a new supplier will be qualified by September. A financial plan may assume that a material price will remain within a certain range. When assumptions are clearly recorded, management can monitor whether they remain valid. The output of S&OP is an authorized and coordinated plan. It may include approved demand volumes, production levels, inventory targets, capacity actions, procurement actions, financial expectations, risks, and management decisions. Organizations often aim to develop a one-number plan. This does not mean that uncertainty disappears. It means that departments use one approved set of planning assumptions rather than maintaining conflicting official forecasts. Scenarios may still exist. However, the organization should know which plan has been approved for execution. Real-world company example: the Coca-Cola system. The Coca-Cola system connects the company with local bottling partners that produce, package, distribute, and sell beverages in their markets. This structure illustrates the importance of coordinated planning inputs and outputs. The company may provide brand, portfolio, concentrate, marketing, and strategic direction. Local bottling partners provide market information, customer requirements, production capabilities, packaging needs, and distribution knowledge. For the system to operate effectively, commercial expectations and operational capabilities must be connected. A plan created without local market or bottling information could be commercially attractive, but operationally unrealistic. CPIM key takeaway: S&OP should convert multiple functional inputs into one approved and coordinated business plan. The quality of the final plan depends on the quality of the data, assumptions, participation, and decisions used to create it. Let's summarize the 5 key lessons from Section A. First, understand the role of S&OP. Sales and operations planning connects the strategic business plan with master planning and detailed operational execution. Second, involve all major functions: sales, marketing, demand planning, product management, operations, procurement, logistics, finance, human resources, and senior leadership must work together to create the best overall plan. Third, plan at the right level. S&OP normally uses product families, broader time periods, and a medium-term planning horizon so management can focus on important decisions without becoming lost in excessive detail. Fourth, follow a disciplined planning cycle. The S&OP cycle includes data preparation, portfolio review, demand review, supply review, reconciliation, executive approval, and communication of the final plan. Finally, create one coordinated plan. Reliable inputs, clearly documented assumptions, and management decisions should produce one authorized plan for demand, supply, inventory, capacity, finance, and risk. With the S&OP purpose and process established, we can now move to Section B and develop the aggregate demand and supply plans.
Section B. Aggregate Demand and Supply Plans. Section B Overview. After the organization establishes the S&OP process, it must develop demand and supply plans. These plans are created at an aggregate level. The demand plan estimates what the market and customers are expected to require. The supply plan determines how the organization will provide the required products or services. Both plans must consider product changes, resources, capacity, inventory, suppliers, risks, and strategic priorities. In this section, we will study 5 key topics. Topic 1. Product portfolio, new product introductions, and life cycle planning. The aggregate demand plan should not be based only on historical sales. The organization must also consider the product portfolio. A product portfolio includes the products and services offered by the organization. Different products may be at different stages of their life cycles. A new product may have limited historical data and uncertain demand. A growing product may require additional capacity, materials, and inventory. A mature product may have stable demand and established processes. A declining product may require reduced production and careful inventory management. A discontinued product may create obsolete materials and finished goods. New product introduction is especially important. The organization must estimate demand, prepare production capacity, confirm supplier readiness, establish inventory, train employees, prepare distribution, and coordinate marketing. If the demand estimate is too high, the company may create excess inventory. If it is too low, the company may lose sales and disappoint customers. New products may also affect existing products. A customer who buys the new product may stop buying an older product. This effect is called cannibalization. The aggregate demand and supply plans should therefore consider the total portfolio rather than evaluating each product independently. Real-world company example: Procter & Gamble. P&G manages a portfolio across several major business sectors and 10 daily use product categories. The company also develops product, packaging, and consumer experience innovations within these categories. This illustrates the portfolio challenge. Growth in one category may require additional supply resources. A new package size may affect materials and production equipment. A new product may replace some demand for an existing product. An aggregate plan should therefore consider the total impact of the portfolio rather than simply adding every product forecast together. CPIM key takeaway. The demand and supply plans must reflect product introductions, growth, maturity, decline, replacement, and discontinuation. Historical demand alone is not enough. Topic 2. Evaluating demand from all sources. Aggregate demand is more than a statistical forecast. The organization should evaluate demand from all relevant sources. These sources may include market forecasts, customer forecasts, open customer orders, contracts, retail demand, distributor requirements, e-commerce demand, service parts, warranty requirements, interplant demand, internal consumption, safety stock, and inventory replenishment. Some demand is already confirmed through customer orders. Other demand is expected but not yet confirmed. The organization must avoid double counting. For example, a customer order may already be included in the statistical forecast. Adding both values without adjustment could exaggerate demand. Demand should also be evaluated by channel. Retail stores, online channels, wholesalers, distributors, and direct customers may follow different patterns. Promotions can create temporary increases. Seasonal events can shift demand between periods. Large customer orders may create temporary peaks. Internal requirements can also consume capacity and materials, even though they do not represent external customer sales. The aggregate demand plan should explain major changes from the previous plan. If demand increases, the organization should understand why. The increase may result from new customers, price changes, promotions, market growth, competitor problems, or management optimism. A demand plan without clear assumptions is difficult to challenge and monitor. The purpose of the demand review is not to create a perfect prediction. The purpose is to create the most reasonable and transparent view of expected demand using the information currently available.
Real-world company example: Inditex and Zara. Inditex integrates physical stores and online operations and uses centralized logistics systems to support both channels. This illustrates why aggregate demand should include all sources. Looking only at store sales would ignore online demand. Looking at total revenue could hide differences between products, regions, and channels. An integrated demand view helps the organization coordinate inventory and supply across its omni-channel network. CPIM key takeaway: the demand plan should include all valid sources of demand while avoiding duplication. It should also clearly identify the assumptions, risks, and reasons for major changes. Topic 3. Evaluating internal and external supply capabilities. The aggregate supply plan determines whether the organization can support the demand plan. Supply capability includes both internal and external resources. Internal capabilities may include factories, equipment, employees, warehouses, technology, maintenance, engineering, and internal transportation. External capabilities may include suppliers, contract manufacturers, logistics providers, external warehouses, and temporary service providers. The organization should evaluate available capacity rather than theoretical capacity alone. A factory may appear to have enough equipment, but maintenance, labor shortages, quality problems, changeovers, or material constraints may reduce the capacity that can actually be used. Supplier capability should also be evaluated carefully. A supplier may provide a low price but have limited capacity, long lead times, unstable quality, weak financial performance, or high geographic risk. The supply footprint refers to the locations and structure of the supply network. A global footprint may provide access to specialized capacity and lower costs. However, it may also create longer lead times, transportation exposure, currency risk, regulatory complexity, and reduced visibility. An aggregate supply plan should consider how much capacity is available, where it is located, when it can be used, which products it can support, and what risks could prevent its use. Supply planning should also distinguish between flexible and dedicated resources. Some resources can produce many products. Others can support only a specific product family. Total capacity may appear sufficient while one specialized resource remains overloaded. Real-world company example: Nike. Nike works with a network of independent factories and material suppliers. The company evaluates supplier performance using factors that include quality, delivery, cost, and sustainability. This illustrates the importance of evaluating more than just total supplier capacity. A factory must be able to produce the required product at the expected quality, cost, delivery, and responsibility standards. The organization must also understand which suppliers have the capability and flexibility to support future plans. CPIM key takeaway: the supply plan should evaluate usable internal and external capability, not just theoretical capacity or quoted supplier quantities. Cost, quality, timing, flexibility, location, and risk are all important. Topic 4. Developing the aggregate production and resource plan. The aggregate production plan defines the overall production or service output required during each planning period. It is normally developed for product families rather than individual items. The plan should support the organization's strategic choices. A company focused on stable, low-cost production may prefer relatively consistent output. A company operating in a highly seasonal market may need flexible output. The organization may use different basic approaches. A level strategy maintains a relatively stable production rate. Inventory may increase during periods of lower demand and decrease during periods of higher demand. A chase strategy changes production to follow demand more closely. This may require changes in labor, shifts, overtime, or external capacity. A mixed strategy combines several methods. The organization may maintain a stable base level of production and use overtime, inventory, or subcontracting during peak periods. The aggregate production plan should be supported by a resource plan. The resource plan estimates the major resources required to achieve the production plan. These resources may include labor hours, machine capacity, facility space, supplier capacity, transportation, cash, and critical materials. At the S&OP level, the resource plan is not a detailed machine schedule. It is a broad validation that the organization's major resources can support the proposed production plan. If the plan requires more capacity than the organization can provide, management must take action. The organization may add shifts, authorize overtime, hire employees, move production, subcontract work, purchase equipment, build inventory early, or reduce demand. Real-world company example: Toyota. Toyota has developed production systems intended to improve flow, reduce waste, and respond flexibly to changing demand. Its history includes production approaches that allow locations to add, switch, or support different vehicle models. This illustrates the importance of flexibility within aggregate planning. When demand changes across regions or models, flexible production capability provides more options than a completely fixed system. However, flexibility must be planned and developed before it is required. CPIM key takeaway. The aggregate production plan defines broad output requirements. The resource plan determines whether the major people, equipment, suppliers, facilities, and financial resources can support those requirements. Topic 5. Strategic buffers, bottlenecks, and capacity risks. Demand and supply are uncertain. For this reason, organizations may use strategic buffers. A buffer protects the system from variability or disruption. Buffers may be created through inventory, capacity, or time. An inventory buffer provides additional products or materials. A capacity buffer maintains some unused capability that can respond to higher demand or operational problems. A time buffer provides additional lead time between activities or before a customer commitment. Buffers are not free. Inventory requires cash, space, control, and carrying cost. Capacity buffers may reduce utilization. Time buffers may increase customer lead time. Therefore, buffers should be placed where they provide the greatest strategic protection. The organization should identify bottlenecks and capacity-constrained resources. A bottleneck is a resource whose available capacity limits the output of the system. Increasing capacity at a non-bottleneck may produce little benefit because the bottleneck still controls total output. The aggregate supply plan should examine what happens when demand approaches or exceeds a critical resource's capacity. It should also consider supply chain risks. A product family may depend on one supplier, one material, one production line, one warehouse, or one transportation route. Management may decide to protect that dependency with inventory, alternative suppliers, additional capacity, longer lead time, or redesign. The correct buffer depends on the cost of the protection and the consequence of the disruption. Real-world company example: Amazon. Amazon describes its supply chain network as being designed to operate at scale and adapt to peak demand and supply chain changes. This illustrates the value of capacity and network flexibility. E-commerce demand can increase sharply during holidays, promotions, and major shopping events. A network planned only for average demand may become overloaded during these peaks. Strategic capacity, inventory positioning, technology, and fulfillment flexibility help the organization respond to demand variability. CPIM key takeaway. Strategic buffers should protect important constraints and risks. The objective is not to create buffers everywhere, but to place the right type and size of protection where failure would have the greatest business impact. Let's summarize the 5 key lessons from Section B. First, manage the complete product portfolio. Demand and supply plans must consider new product introductions, product growth, maturity, decline, replacement, cannibalization, and discontinuation. Second, evaluate demand from every valid source: forecasts, customer orders, Contracts, sales channels, service requirements, internal demand, and inventory replenishment must be combined carefully without double counting. Third, evaluate real supply capability. Organizations must assess usable internal and external capacity, including factories, employees, equipment, suppliers, logistics providers, warehouses, and contract manufacturers. Fourth, develop an aggregate production and resource plan. The organization must decide the required output by product family and confirm that the necessary labor, equipment, materials, supplier capacity, transportation, facilities, and cash are available. Fifth, protect the plan with strategic buffers. Inventory, capacity, and time buffers should be placed around important bottlenecks and risks where disruption would create the greatest business impact. With aggregate demand and supply plans developed, we can now move to Section C and reconcile the differences between them.
Section C. Reconciling S&OP plans. Section C Overview. The demand plan describes what the organization expects customers and markets to require. The supply plan describes what the organization can provide. These plans will not always match. Demand may be higher than available supply. Supply may be higher than expected demand. The total volume may appear balanced, while the product mix remains impossible to produce. Reconciliation identifies these differences and prepares management decisions. In this section, we will study 5 key topics. Topic 1. Evaluating volume and product mix trade-offs. Volume refers to the total quantity of products or services. Mix refers to the combination of different products or services within that total quantity. An organization may have enough total capacity but still be unable to produce the required mix. For example, a factory may have capacity to produce 100,000 units. The demand plan may also require 100,000 units. At first, the plans appear balanced. However, 70,000 units may require one specialized production line that can produce only 50,000 units. The organization has sufficient total capacity, but insufficient capacity for the required mix. Different products may also have different margins, customer priorities, materials, labor requirements, changeover times, and risks. Management may need to decide which products should receive limited capacity. Producing the highest volume product is not always the best decision. A lower volume product may have a higher margin, support an important customer, protect a strategic market, or be required as part of a contract. Mix decisions may also affect efficiency. Producing many product variations can increase changeovers, complexity, inventory, and quality risks. Reducing variety can improve efficiency, but may reduce customer choice or market competitiveness. The S&OP process should make these trade-offs visible. The decision should support the organization's strategy rather than allowing the production sequence or the loudest department to determine priorities. Real-world company example. The Coca-Cola Company manages a broad beverage portfolio across sparkling drinks, water, sports drinks, juice, dairy, coffee, tea, and other categories. Different beverages may require different ingredients, packaging, production equipment, and distribution conditions. A change in customer preference may increase demand for one category while another declines. The total beverage volume may remain similar, but the operational requirements and financial results may change significantly. This illustrates why S&OP must evaluate both total volume and product mix. CPIM key takeaway. Balanced total volume does not guarantee a feasible plan. The organization must evaluate the product mix, resource requirements, margins, customer priorities, and complexity within the total volume. Topic 2. Evaluating alternative demand and supply plans. When the original demand and supply plans do not match, the organization should develop alternatives. An alternative should explain the action, expected benefit, cost, risk, and operational effect. For example, if demand exceeds supply, the organization may consider adding overtime, hiring temporary employees, adding another shift, subcontracting production, using an alternative supplier, changing the product mix, building inventory before the peak, extending customer lead times, substituting another product, changing promotional activity, prioritizing selected customers. If supply exceeds demand, the organization may consider reducing production, changing maintenance timing, reducing overtime, moving promotions forward, entering another market, offering complementary products, using capacity for another product family. Each alternative has trade-offs. Overtime may increase output quickly, but also increase cost and fatigue. Subcontracting may provide capacity, but create quality and coordination risks. Building inventory may protect customer service, but increase working capital and obsolescence. Reducing price may increase demand, but reduce margin. Extending lead time may protect capacity, but disappoint customers. Scenario planning helps management compare these alternatives. The organization may prepare a base plan, a higher demand plan, a lower demand plan, and a disruption plan. The purpose is not to create unlimited scenarios. The purpose is to prepare realistic choices for important uncertainties. Real-world company example: Procter & Gamble. P&G has described using modeling and simulation to respond to supply chain issues and evaluate alternative product formulations when a material is unavailable. This is an example of developing an alternative supply response. Instead of accepting that one unavailable material must stop production, the company can evaluate whether another approved formulation can support the product. The decision still requires quality, cost, regulatory, supply, and manufacturing evaluation. CPIM key takeaway: when demand and supply do not match, management should compare realistic alternatives rather than accepting the first available solution. Every alternative should be evaluated for cost, benefit, risk, timing, and strategic impact. Topic 3. Reconciling the financial plan. A demand and supply plan must also be financially acceptable. Operational quantities should be translated into financial results. Important financial measures may include revenue, cost of goods sold, margin, operating cost, inventory investment, cash flow, purchase price variance, and capacity utilization. A plan can be operationally possible but financially unacceptable. For example, the organization may be able to satisfy higher demand by using extensive overtime, premium transportation, temporary suppliers, and expensive materials. The extra sales may appear attractive. However, the extra costs may reduce or eliminate the expected profit. A plan may also meet the revenue target but create excessive inventory and cash requirements. Another plan may reduce cost but damage customer service and future sales. Therefore, finance should participate throughout the S&OP process. Finance should not simply evaluate the plan after all operational decisions have already been made. Financial reconciliation also helps confirm whether the operational plan supports the budget and strategic objectives. If the business plan requires a financial result that the demand and supply plans cannot support, the gap should be made visible. Management may need to revise assumptions, change commercial actions, reduce costs, adjust investments, or update the financial expectation. The purpose of financial reconciliation is not to force the operational numbers to equal the budget. Changing a spreadsheet does not create demand or capacity. The purpose is to produce a realistic view of the financial results expected from the approved operational plan. Real-world company example: Unilever. A Unilever supply chain finance role connects integrated business planning with production volume, productivity, cost assumptions, logistics cost, inventory targets, and cash delivery. This illustrates how operational plans create financial consequences. Increasing production may change cost per ton. Building inventory may support future service but use additional cash. Selecting another supplier may protect supply but increase purchase cost. Financial participation helps management evaluate the complete business impact. CPIM key takeaway: the approved S&OP plan should be both operationally feasible and financially understood. Financial targets cannot be separated from demand, capacity, inventory, supplier, and production decisions. Topic 4. Customer service, inventory, and backlog trade-offs. S&OP frequently requires trade-offs among customer service, inventory, and backlog. Customer service improves when products are available and delivered as promised. Inventory can support product availability. However, inventory also creates cost, risk, and cash requirements. Backlog represents customer demand that has been accepted but not yet fulfilled. A backlog may be manageable when customers accept the promised delivery date. However, an increasing or overdue backlog may indicate that demand is greater than supply. Reducing inventory too aggressively may improve working capital temporarily, but create shortages and missed deliveries. Increasing inventory may improve service, but create excess stock and obsolescence. Accepting more customer orders may increase reported demand, but also create a backlog that the organization cannot deliver on time. The organization should not evaluate these measures independently. A low inventory level is not automatically good. A high capacity utilization rate is not automatically good. A large order book is not automatically good. Management must evaluate whether the combined plan supports customer commitments and financial objectives. Customer segmentation may also influence the decision. When supply is limited, the organization may prioritize strategic customers, contractual commitments, essential products, higher margin products, or customers with no acceptable substitute. These decisions should follow approved policies rather than being made informally during a shortage. Real-world company example: Walmart. Walmart has described investments in connected omni-channel supply chain systems intended to improve in-stock availability, inventory accuracy, and inventory flow across stores, pickup, and delivery. This illustrates the relationship between inventory and customer service. Holding inventory in the wrong location may produce shortages in one channel and excess stock in another. Better visibility and movement of inventory can improve service without simply increasing total inventory everywhere. CPIM key takeaway: customer service, inventory, and backlog must be evaluated together. Improving one measure may damage another, so management should select the combination that best supports the organization's strategy. Topic 5. Balancing supply and demand, and approving the consensus plan. The final purpose of reconciliation is to balance supply and demand at an acceptable level of risk, cost, and customer service. The organization can adjust supply. Supply adjustments may include overtime, additional shifts, temporary employees, subcontracting, alternative suppliers, additional equipment, flexible capacity, inventory building, and transportation changes. The organization can also adjust demand. Demand adjustments may include changing price, modifying promotions, extending lead times, offering substitutions, prioritizing customers, moving demand between periods, or promoting complementary products. The organization should understand the difference between influencing demand and hiding demand. Reducing the forecast without changing customer behavior does not solve a capacity problem. Increasing the supply plan without available resources does not create capacity. The final plan should reflect decisions that can actually be implemented. Major unresolved issues should be presented to the executive S&OP meeting. Senior leaders should receive clear alternatives rather than large amounts of unorganized data. For each important issue, management should understand the gap, the cause, the available alternatives, the financial implications, the customer service implications, the risks, and the recommended action. After management makes a decision, the plan becomes the authorized direction for the organization. Responsibilities, deadlines, assumptions, and risks should be recorded. The approved plan should then be translated into master schedules, procurement plans, inventory plans, capacity plans, distribution plans, and financial expectations. Actual performance should be compared with the plan during the next cycle. Real-world company example: PepsiCo. PepsiCo planning roles describe S&OP meetings used to address operational issues, secure volume forecasts, and produce actionable outcomes. Other roles describe the objective of creating one aligned forecast across functions. This illustrates the final reconciliation process.
The value of the meeting is not the presentation itself. The value comes from resolving disagreements, approving actions, and giving different functions one coordinated plan to execute. CPIM key takeaway. S&OP reconciliation should end with decisions. The final plan must be realistic, authorized, communicated, financially understood, and supported by clear responsibilities, deadlines, assumptions, and risks. Together, these decisions produce one coordinated business plan that connects demand, supply, resources, finance, risk, and customer service. Let's summarize the 5 key lessons from Section C. First, evaluate both volume and product mix. Total demand may equal total capacity, while the required mix of products remains impossible to produce because of specialized materials, equipment, or constrained resources. Second, compare realistic alternatives. When demand and supply do not match, management should evaluate options such as overtime, additional shifts, subcontracting, alternative suppliers, inventory building, substitutions, promotion changes, and adjusted customer lead times. Third, reconcile the financial plan. Every operational plan should be translated into revenue, cost, margin, inventory investment, working capital, and cash flow consequences. Fourth, balance customer service, inventory, and backlog. Improving one measure may damage another, so these 3 areas must be evaluated together rather than managed independently. Finally, approve one consensus plan. The final S&OP plan must be realistic, financially understood, authorized by management, clearly communicated, and supported by defined responsibilities, deadlines, assumptions, and risks. Together, these decisions produce one coordinated business plan that connects demand, supply, resources, finance, risk, and customer service. Overall Module 2 Summary. Module 2 introduced Sales and Operations Planning, commonly known as S&OP. S&OP is a cross-functional process that connects the strategic business plan with operational planning and execution. It helps an organization develop one coordinated plan for demand, supply, inventory, capacity, product portfolios, financial performance, customer service, and risk. In Section A, we studied the purpose and process of S&OP. We learned that S&OP operates between the strategic business plan and more detailed planning activities such as master scheduling, material planning, capacity planning, and detailed scheduling. We also learned that S&OP requires participation from sales, marketing, demand planning, product management, operations, procurement, logistics, finance, human resources, and senior leadership. The organization should select an appropriate planning horizon, time bucket, product family structure, and aggregation level. The S&OP cycle normally includes data preparation, portfolio review, demand review, supply review, reconciliation, executive review, approval, and communication. The process should convert different functional inputs into one authorized and coordinated plan. In Section B, we examined aggregate demand and supply plans. The aggregate demand plan should consider product portfolios, new product introductions, product life cycles, forecasts, customer orders, different sales channels, service requirements, internal requirements, and inventory needs. The aggregate supply plan should evaluate internal capacity, suppliers, production resources, labor, equipment, inventory, logistics, and risks. The organization should develop an aggregate production plan and confirm that the required major resources are available. We also studied strategic buffers. Inventory, capacity, and time buffers can protect the organization from uncertainty, bottlenecks, and supply chain disruptions. However, buffers create costs and should be placed where they provide the greatest strategic value. In Section C, we learned how organizations reconcile S&OP plans. Demand and supply may be different in total volume. They may also be different because of the required product mix. Management must evaluate alternative demand and supply plans and understand the risks and trade-offs of each alternative. The operational plan should be translated into financial results, including revenue, cost, margin, inventory investment, and cash requirements. Customer service, inventory, and backlog should be evaluated together. The organization may balance demand and supply by changing capacity, inventory, suppliers, overtime, outsourcing, lead times, promotions, prices, substitutions, or customer priorities. The complete logic of Module 2 can be remembered through 5 questions. What do we expect customers to require? What can our internal and external supply network provide? Where are the gaps between demand and supply? What are the operational, financial, and customer service trade-offs? And which coordinated plan should management approve? These 5 questions connect strategy, demand, supply, resources, finance, risk, and executive decision-making. S&OP does not eliminate uncertainty. It creates a disciplined process for managing uncertainty and making coordinated decisions. A successful S&OP process does not produce separate sales, operations, and financial plans. It produces one realistic business plan that all functions understand and support. In the next module, we will study demand. We will learn how organizations understand customer requirements, identify sources of demand, create forecasts, measure forecast performance, and respond to demand variation. Remember to review the topics using the CPIM 9.0 Full Learning Bundle, test your understanding with the 6200 plus MCQ Practice Bundle, and revise the important terms using the 1800 Flashcards Bundle. The download link for all 3 bundles is available in the video description. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Simple Understanding YouTube channel and activate notifications so you do not miss any lesson. Share this course with anyone preparing for the CPIM exam. See you next video.